We were living on Maui, which sounds like, heavenly. In many ways it was. I had just had my second near-death experience. My wife is sick with mold toxicity poisoning. We're wiped out financially and going down into the sewer. And the universe was bringing me to my knees, saying, look, you know a process, you've learned a process, you've even started to hone a process, but you are not using it. And your whole world will change if you would walk through that door. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with the secrets Mike Dooley of Thoughts Become Things and The Universe Talks. Today we flip things on their head as Mike interviews me on automatic writing and how you can communicate with your angels, spirit guides, loved one on the other side, Akashic masters, and more through automatic writing. So with that said, take it away, Mike.
This is a topic near and dear to my heart that I've got to confess has changed my entire life. Before I even knew I was doing it, and you're doing it too. And so that I can get better, I'm writing along. I've invited an expert on automatic writing to teach all of us, you included, over the upcoming 21 days, beginning in a couple of weeks, how to perfect the art of getting out of our own way and letting divine intelligence, infinite wisdom pour through us. That guest speaker is none other than the legendary Michael Sandler of Inspire Nation. Come on. Michael, how's it going, bro?
How does it get any better than this? Thank you for welcoming me on here, Mike. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, it is a thrill. Glad to have you here. And I'd be remiss to not give warm, heartfelt congratulations to you and your wife for the recent arrival of your first time ever baby. Congratulations, family.
Woohoo! I am very happy, very sleep deprived. And what's really cool is she's she turned 4 weeks old 2 days ago. And so her eyes track things now, but they're tracking things that aren't me. If you know what I mean, they're like looking over here and smiling and looking over there. And I'm going, what are you seeing?
That is so good. Oh my gosh. It's so fun to be kind of, I guess, spiritually aware parents, and every year that goes by, we're more in the light, higher vibration. Gosh, yours is just fresh out of the oven, straight from heaven. Goodness knows what she's seeing. Mine's 8 years old right now. And, talking about dreams and forever and oh my gosh. You have so much.
Have you asked her about past lives by chance?
I have, and she has not. She doesn't remember anything yet, But it's one of those things I know that somebody can not have a memory and then suddenly have a memory, and we are working on remembering our dreams and telling each other these enthralling stories in the morning, so that we're developing that muscle.
Very, very cool. That sounds like, and we talk about it in automatic writing. In fact, in the automatic writing adventure, we have multiple sections where we're working on the dream line, on dream time, on going into our dreams and interpretation from our dreams. There's a people in South America, the Oshawa, that live in the Brazilian rainforest. They are dream line or dream time people, depending on how you want to call it. When their kids wake up in the morning, they get the tribe together and they ask the kids, Mike, what did you dream last night? They interpret it as a community going into that silent place, going into that place of automatic writing, and take action on the day as a village based on the kids' dreams.
That is so cool. I never heard of that. That's so good. I'm going to start having those meetings at breakfast, the three of us, mommy, daughter, and self. And it's so important to realize, and this is a tangent, but, life is the dream. We come from reality every morning, and the wealth of wisdom that's there.
It's in the workbook that will be coming out to people. Specifically, the dream world. I put in there, the dream world is the waking world. The waking world is the dream world.
So good. Michael, let's tell everybody what we're doing, okay? Now, I've known you for a decade.
Yep.
You have been the maestro, the creator of Inspire Nation, this really popular global podcast. Where in the world did this come from that you are the automatic writing guru and with tons of praise and accolades from the readers of your book at Amazon and elsewhere? How did this come up? Because I didn't know you were that guru.
Two near-death experiences and getting my butt kicked, Mike. We were living on Maui, which sounds like, heavenly. In many ways it was. I had just had my second near-death experience. My wife is sick with mold toxicity poisoning. We're wiped out financially and going down into the sewer. And yet I'm holding space at a meditation center 3-4 hours a day, 6 months stints in a row, completely and totally lost. And the universe was bringing me to my knees, saying, look, you know a process, you've learned a process, you've even started to hone a process, but you are not using it to converse with us, to converse with spirit, and your whole world will change if you would walk through that door. So when we got booted off of Maui, when we're living in my wife Jessica's childhood bedroom, an 8x10 bedroom in New Jersey, just outside New York City. And I love my in-laws. In fact, my mother-in-law is right down the hall right now with the baby. But to go from a dream home in Maui to that was humbled and brought to my knees. And I started going into automatic writing, talking to angels, spirits, guides, inner wisdom, universe, giant cheeseburger in the sky, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. A higher intelligence on a daily basis. They said, you're going to start a show. Here's what it's going to be about. Here's what you're going to do. Here's how you're going to get your coaching business going. And then later on, we ended up with the #1 show on iTunes, #1 show on Google Play Music. Then they're like, all right, now we're going to write a book. At which point, Mike, I said, wait, full stop. I am a business coach. I am an ADD coach. I am a life coach. You want me to write about communicating on the other side of the veil with angels and spirit guides and higher dimensional beings? You're nuts. They won.
Wow. And am I glad. Now, when was this that you left Maui? What year?
That was 2015. So just over 7 years ago.
Geez, so much happened in 7 years. And reading the book and talking with you more, it's like, talk about a 360-degree pivot from dark night of the soul, and I've had that too, to, my God, you've come so far. Tell us about that journey.
Well, I mean, now granted, I've discussed off air, we get to move in a few weeks because we moved here to have our baby, but we're in a dream home here. Our financial situation is beyond miraculous and is better than better. I've got a shiny, this isn't about materialism, but I've got a shiny yellow, one of the only yellow Teslas in the world with gold wheels, probably the only one, yellow Tesla with gold wheels, right outside my door. I couldn't get our car on the road. I didn't have enough money to pay to license it when we got here. Jessica was sick. We now have a baby. How does it get any better than this? Everything. I got invited a year and a half ago down to the World Nobel Peace Prize conference. Everything changed once I dove into automatic writing. But let me slow down, take a deep breath. What's changed the most, Mike, isn't the stuff, isn't what we're doing on the outside. Who I have become, the energy, the space that I hold now, all of that is on a radically different level, and it's on a curve. Who I am now is not even who I was last year, certainly let alone 7 years ago. Every day I'm getting teachings from the masters, from the highest level. They won't let me get away with anything. That's a good thing. I think our little ones won't let us get away with anything either. They are continuously teaching and challenging. They They show me when things happen, why they happen, what we can learn from them. And it is, there's a lot of hype about things like ascension and rising up and higher vibration. And this is good stuff. Humanity is shifting. There's a bifurcation. We have chosen a higher path, but it's going into automatic writing, not just on a daily basis now, and I'll get to that in a moment, but going into automatic writing on that daily basis, my energy has radically shifted. More than that, though, when you start into automatic writing, and it's super simple, what ends up happening is you create kind of a handshake, a connection with the universe. Or if we want to go there, neurons that fire together, wire together. And that connection grows stronger and stronger. You know what I'm talking about, Mike. And you end up with this myelinated superhighway. We'll go Rick Hansen here for fun. You get a myelinated superhighway going that becomes this fiber optic cable between you and spirit. Now what happens? I'm talking to you, Mike. In fact, we're talking heart to heart. At the same time, and that's spirit calling us. At the same time, spirit is talking to me and I'm listening, which means everything I do through the day is more spirit directed, is more connected to source. So I'm no longer in that egoic space of feeling completely lost, even if I don't know exactly what to do. Spirit has developed that fiber optic connection with me, or me with spirit, through automatic writing, so that I am now always hearing. It's not this booming voice. It's not the Neil Donald Walsh God speaking to me, although in a sense it is. I hear very, very clearly. My only job now, on top of do the automatic writing on a daily basis, is listen.
My
Because if
gosh.
I listen, they're always speaking now, Mike.
Gosh, that is so good. And well, I'm going to ask you about that, but I'm inspired because you were brought to your knees. You brought on the dark night of your soul. And how many of us know better? How many of us know to visualize? How many of us know to meditate? How many of us know about automatic writing, and we don't do it? And I'm really like Mike. Oh, Mike Dooley. Mike, do this with Michael. I mean, I am an automatic writer, Notes from the Universe, 17 books, but I have not cultivated it to the degree nor with the confidence that you have. And I know that there are levels, there are grades, there is confidence for me to enhance. And so I am so like, I'm not waiting, I'm not going down. I've been there. It's too unpleasant. And now you've got this like kind of communion, it sounds like. And
That's the word.
I know, and I know it's there for all of us. We're not supposed to be here without that. You know Lorna Byrne. I know Lorna Byrne. We've both done events with Lorna Byrne. The angels are part of our team, and whether it's an angel or a guide or wisdom on the other side, we're supposed to have access to it all the time and quiet down our ego. Do you differentiate, Michael, who's speaking to you on the other side, or is it all source?
Both. And that's the fun thing. And I want to back up for a second. Last night I got, I don't know, 2.5 hours sleep with babyhood. It's all good. I get up this morning. We do the big feed thing and the pumping and all that good stuff. And so I listen and I muscle test. Can I skip my automatic writing and sleep for another REM cycle? What do you think I got, Mike?
You got to know.
Yeah. It's my oxygen. And I'll teach our School of Mystic School tonight, and they give me a total download of the entire lesson plan if I just go quiet and write. So I do that no matter what. Yeah, I've channeled Napoleon Hill, Emile QA, Florence Scovel Shin, all of these specific. You are asking, do I have specifics that I go to? I can choose any teacher in the universe, known or unknown,
Of
and
course.
I can pull them in and channel them. Madame Blavatsky. I'm like holding on for dear life. And she's channeling this stuff. I'm going, oh my God. So I can go to angels. I can go to archangels. I can go to Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. When baby Hannah was in the womb, Sandalphon started to come in. And I'm like, why Sandalphon? And I looked him up. And of course, he's the archangel of unborn babies. Hello. I can also go to mentors, people who've crossed over, who were there for me beforehand. My best man, Jack, 89 years young at my wedding, he crossed over. He's there on the other side waiting for me, letting me know, am I on track? Am I not on track? He'll give me a gentle, loving kick in the butt. My daughter, baby Hannah, she had a twin until December 22nd of this past year. Miracle is her name, crossed over. So we lost our twin. First off, I was fortunate enough to communicate. We had a decision to make, quite likely lose both babies or choose to deliberately lose one to save the other.
Oh my God.
Automatic writing is the only reason I'm still sane, because to make a decision to choose to lose a baby could bring you so much guilt and grief, it'd bring you under the table. Instead, I felt light. I was able to see her go up. And she started communicating with me through automatic writing, Miracle, right away. In fact, as of today, I have my whole boardroom, my whole team. And I'm not the only one. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he had his boardroom through automatic writing as well. My boardroom, and typically you have a master guide, somebody that runs like a CEO, runs that whole boardroom. It's Miracle now. And so she's like, Daddy, each day in automatic writing, Daddy, I'm here. I'll take charge. I'll tell you what's going on from this archangel, from that. Who are you that you have the power to take charge of everybody? But she will, and she'll give me the information that way. And let's say that I want to do a program because you called me seemingly out of the blue, but it wasn't seemingly out of the blue, not even close. I made the conscious decision. I want to be out there. I want to be working with others. Now is the time. And Miracle's like, I've got this. And I'm sure she called in members to the boardroom who then dialed you up.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Wow. And so everybody, this is going to be happening in a couple of weeks. Michael is going to be teaching the process, sharing his stories. How did he get started? How did he deal with self-doubt? How did he answer the question, am I just making this stuff up? How did he
getting a whiplash on this one?
where he can go within and have this 24/7 communion, which is the way life is supposed to be. There's so much more going on. And this ascension thing, raising vibrations, yeah, let's surf that wave, but with all of ourselves, with our soul integration, with this connection that Michael has made, that I want to learn to make in a more confident way, and that everyone watching right now can make. It's going to begin by writing, and it's going to end up with communion. In fact, Michael, do you always do the writing now? Or does that has that anchored you? Or describe with your 24/7 communion option, how and why do you still write?
It's a brilliant question, Mike. There is a deeper level of connection. If I put myself, I'm having this vision in my head. Remember in grade school, the desk, it had the flip top front to it. You put your pencils and your books inside of it and you listen to teacher.
Yeah.
That's what going into automatic writing is, without the negativity or the burden. You're there, teacher speaks, you listen, you soak it all in. Then you ask all of these questions. It's a very high level process. I want to go into that in a daily basis while my mind is quiet. That's when I get the deepest, most profound words. Throughout the rest of the day, I'm not in class. My mind is going, yibber, yabber, yibber, yabber, yibber. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about the other thing? Are you going to take care of this? Are you going to take you? I will still hear from spirit, but it's going to be much more how-to-y. In fact, that's an indication you've done enough automatic writing in the morning when all of a sudden you're getting a to-do list for the day. And you can use automatic writing and use your angels and guides as a coach, but let's get some really deep, profound worlds while the rest of the world sleeps, including your mind. So I interviewed Dr. Andrew Newberg for our automatic writing book, and I put a lot of that in this program. Dr. Andrew Newberg is one of the leading neuroscientists when it comes to spirituality in the brain. And he looked at automatic writing practitioners. Here's what he found. The frontal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for executive functions. Where do I have to be? When do I have to be? How do I write? In automatic writing, powers down. The writing center of your brain goes offline. The parietal lobe, the part of the brain responsible, I love the Beatles, for George Harrison's last song, I, me, my, the egoic center of the brain, the part of the brain that helps you to cross the road without getting hit by a car. I, me, my, I, me, my, I, me, my, goes offline. So let's look at this. The part of the brain responsible for writing goes offline. The part of the brain responsible for you, the small self, the egoic self, the fear-based self, goes offline. Now the teachers come in, whether that's the Akashic Masters, the Archangels, Jesus, Buddha, Jehovah, whomever you want. Your mind steps aside, and now you get to play. That's why I have changed so much, and so many people have, because now we're playing a profound game. And what happens is, and you can sense it in my energy, if I do that first thing in the morning, I used to think, in fact, I lost my last editor for the book Automatic Writing right before we went to publish for this reason. And it was a little dance to get the book out because of it. I realized, Mike, the writing is not the writing. And I had to pull it back. What do I mean the writing is not the writing? This is an automatic writing adventure. What do you mean by that? There's a frequency or vibration, an attunement that takes place in the words. Supra, far beyond the thinking mind. I don't get that attunement throughout the day. I get it in my writing in the morning. So I will get attuned. I will get kind of a tune-up, a tuning of the dial to, K-spirit, all the time. And that carries me through the day. And then either I'll go back to my automatic writing in the evening or reread it, or vice versa, because we'll do it as a sandwich. Do it in the morning, read it in the evening. Do it in the evening, read it in the morning. And it will attune me so that when I go to the spirit world, the other side of the veil at night, I'm in a special sacred place of creation, communion, of doing this special sacred dance. And so it's all about the energy.
And so how did that translate into losing an editor?
Because I said, I have work to do on the book. And she said, no, you're done. And I'm like, I am so sorry.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Because
You got to stick to your gun.
The book had gone through 4 iterations. At first, I let automatic writing do everything. Now, I am not a Paul Selig kind of channel. And so what I ended up getting is about 1,000 pages on the whole mechanism and understanding of the universe. It's great, but it's supposed to be an automatic writing book. And so I had to go through another iteration. And by the time I got to the final iteration, my editor is done. I love her so dearly. She is done. And then for me to say, it's not about the writing, I need to make some changes.
Right. I get it now. Wow. I love how you just knew that it needed some more. Yeah. Wow. Fantastic, Michael. So we've got 21 days coming up. It's going to be 21 video lessons every morning, about 5 or 10 minutes, right? And then you're going to have people give us a little overview of the 21 days that we're going to be sharing.
So you're going to be learning at first the basics of automatic writing, the steps that you get to take every single day. Then we're going to be doing some problem solving work, not so much the problems, but understanding why this works, why this might not work, how to fine tune the process here. If you're not getting much over there, what to expect energetically. So this whole first week, we're looking at a lot of the energy behind it and how to fine tune the process. The second week, now we're doing a deep dive into who. Who am I speaking with? Who can I speak with? I have a loved one that's crossed over. Can I speak with her or him? Can I go to my master guide? Can I go to a teacher? Can I go to a Akashic master? Then after that, now we're talking attunement and we're talking healing. So what are the wounds from this lifetime I get to clear? And more importantly, what are the wounds from past lifetimes that are causing me to repeat a pattern over and over again? And no matter what you do, no matter what expert you see, it keeps repeating. Well, now we can go back to your past lives. And I teach a clearing process. Go back to your past lives. Your angels and guides will bring you to the specific lifetime, find what the wound is, and then there's a process that they will help you to clear it. On top of that, they will help you to clear what I call the swizzle straws or swizzle sticks. What are the swizzle sticks? Mike, you and I do a lot of live events. And while they energize us, there is an occasion where afterwards we don't know why, but we feel just so drained, so exhausted. What happened? It's that so many people want our energy. It's not a bad thing. We get to put ourselves in a nice little bubble of love and light, but we also get to learn how to cut those cords and attachments. And everybody who's listening here is an empath. You're energetically sensitive, which means there are lots of people out there, call them Draculas, call them loving people, who want your energy. So we're going to learn, where am I losing my energy? And can you help us, angels and guides, to cut these cords so we get you energetically so much lighter? Then we learn how to really learn and connect with the masters, with the teachers, so that at the end of this, you have gone from an empath to a mystic, from the me to the we, from just being embodied and sometimes barely embodied in the here and now, to also living on the other side of the veil, being able to approach the world from an entirely different level and from an entirely different energetic point of view. The miracle of baby Hana being here actually had a lot to do with automatic writing, particularly when you're 3 miscarriages in and you're going, do I step forward again? And then when you're faced with a decision,
oh God,
the decision was from the surgeons, the best surgeons perhaps in the world, definitely in this country. We can perform surgery and we may be able to save one of your babies, or we cannot perform surgery and chances are you're going to lose both. If we didn't have automatic writing, and what happens when you do automatic writing for a long time is you become a channel yourself. You become someone who can talk to spirit and hear spirit, thank God, quite literally. And you can go, all right, I've got a decision to make, and a decision to make right now, because they said that baby Hana, her heart was about to fail if we didn't let go of baby Miraku. What's it going to be? And if we didn't have automatic writing, our brains would have exploded. The amount of guilt of letting go of a baby in order to save another baby, because you would have been going, did it have to happen? Did it have to be that way? Maybe we could have. If we weren't plugged into spirit through automatic writing, and that's why I want to teach everybody this, it sets you free. If we weren't plugged in, our lives would have imploded, Mike, completely and totally imploded. Instead of getting a happy baby in the other room.
I can't imagine what you guys went through. And I'm so glad to hear of your ability to go within and find comfort and guidance and clarity. For everyone who's new to one of these two Michaels, Michael Sandler, who's just been speaking, is a late blooming first time dad as of how many weeks ago, Michael?
Late blooming. Ooh, I like that.
I've used that for myself. Okay.
As of 5 weeks, 5 days, not that we're counting, Mike.
I know.
But
Well,
the amount of peace we did the whole natural thing as best as we could, and it was completely, so much is out of our control. But the amount of peace through the process of being plugged into spirit, because I'm sure the same was said for you. Nothing went quite according to plan, but there was a peace of being plugged in.
Yeah. Well, because I too am a late blooming first time dad. And my bloom was about 8 years ago in a couple of months. Not that I'm counting, but boy, has it been an unpredictable joyride beyond wildest expectations. And so we're talking about automatic writing, and we're about to do this course, 21-day adventure into automatic writing, where anybody can perfect a gift that we have all been given, and that is tap into our highest self through the exercises and rituals that Michael has blazed a trail on. He's the best-selling author at Amazon.com with the most highly rated book on Amazon.com pertaining to automatic writing. And he's used it to tune in for guidance, for baby decisions. You can do it to write a book, a screenplay, become an amazing composer, become your own best friend, to fall in love, to get guided. I mean, the list of things one can do is truly endless when they begin to get out of their own egoic intellectual way and allow spirit to come forth. And so everybody, that's where we're at. That's what we're talking about. Just a few days from now, on June 21, we're kicking off this 21-day adventure, the two of us. Michael is the guru. Mike here is the moderator, although I have experienced and used automatic writing the entire 22 years of my writing career. It's helped me with 17 books, 3,000 notes from the universe, and great clarity when I was otherwise feeling like a broken man. Michael, where should we go from here? I've got questions for you. People have sent in questions. Anything else you want to do to set the stage?
I can hear my best man at my wedding, Hendrik Marco, one of the top, former top marathoners in the world from South Africa. And he was saying something about my wife that we could just as easily put to automatic writing. So I might as well go there. He told me before the wedding, he's one of my groomsmen, dude, you were nowhere without her. And that's without Jessica. Dude, I was nowhere without automatic writing. I was completely lost. I was working my tail off. I was sharp as a tack, which got in my own way. I was a former ultra endurance athlete, which meant I was going to push over through the wall, whatever it took. And I was admittedly lost, Mike, until I started going in and hearing from spirit and hearing from the angels. Have you tried this? Have you thought about that? Or let's help get you outside of your box. I like to say that I help free people from the matrix. Let's get you outside of your box so that you can look back at the world from a bigger picture perspective. And thank God I got that, Mike, or I literally don't know where I'd be now.
How long ago was that, Michael?
It was a good decade ago. I learned automatic writing a little over a decade ago. When I learned it, the words that came through were so profound about who I was, what I was going to do, all things of that sort, that I thought, this is my ego making it up. And I waited another year and a half. I was taking a class on channeling with the Akashic Masters, and I had to read it before everybody. And I read it, and I was so horrified. Shame and embarrassment are two things. I can't watch a movie if there's like a lie, the movie is based on a lie, and somebody's I can't do it. And so I read this thing before the whole class, and it said how great I was. I was going to speak before a mountaintop, before thousands of people, all this good stuff. And it just horrified me. It must have been made up by my mind. And that's a big concern with automatic writing. I must have made it up. So I didn't do it for another year and a half, 2 years. Then I picked it back up. Same stuff comes through. Threw it away again. Then I had a past life regression. Same stuff came through. At which point I said, wait a second, that wasn't my egoic mind making it up. And so I started going back to automatic writing, particularly after I got booted out of my dream home in Maui, which I mentioned to you. I started going back to my automatic writing and started refining the process and figuring out how to make sure my thinking mind was out of the equation. And I refined and refined and refined, and it started steering everything, and I started teaching it to others. And then it became a basis for all of my coaching. Not a single coaching client. I won't coach you unless you learn automatic writing, because I'm a guide. But the greater answers are going to come from the other side of the veil, always. From your higher self, your spirit on the other side of the veil, your soul on the other side of the veil, from the elders on the other side of the veil, from your angels, from your guides, from your ancestors, from your loved ones on the other side. So I may guide you, but we need their input. Much more important. Everything changed in my world and my clients' worlds, in my students' worlds, once I started doing that.
And you started doing it every day, looking for steps to take. And what, it changed your career, it changed financially, it changed relationship.
It saved my marriage. It certainly saved my marriage. It helped us get to where we have baby Hannah. How does it get any better than this? My economics, when I started it, I'm in my wife's childhood bedroom, 8x10 room, 2 twin mattresses on the floor. I can look out the window at a little Suzuki hatchback. It's 10 years old. I don't have the money to register it, to get it on the road. I don't have a single dollar. My mother-in-law, she was turning 70, and she asked me, am I going to have to get a second or third job to support you guys? Yeah. And I had this vision through automatic writing. It started telling me, hang in there. You're going to build your business. Here's what you're going to do. Step by step, baby steps at first. Here's what you're going to do. Now, financially, incredibly well off. Best-selling author. Show that's been a #1 on iTunes, a #1 on Google Play Music. 250,000 people watching it on YouTube. On and on it goes. Thousands of students, and on it goes. All that came out of that, it required, Mike, you went back to daily. It required it being my oxygen.
But what did you do every day? Like, is the process every morning you sit down and you write good questions to get good answers? Or is you just sit down and surrender and, scripture comes pouring out of you?
Well put. I get up in the morning, and right now it's a little bit foggy, Mike, because there is no separation between morning and evening with a newborn, as you know.
Yeah.
In general terms, I get up. I sneak past the rooster. His name is Ruru, so that he stays sleeping. I feed a couple kitty cats. I go sit at my computer. I put on the theta brain entrainment music that comes with the program. Well, first I do a brief meditation or centering. I put on the music. I write out a few prayers, and then I do it typing because I'm dyslexic. And so when I write, I reverse words and letters.
I do it typing. And some people say, no, you can't do that. You need to be organic. It's like, typing is organic. Okay. I've been doing it for decades and decades.
Yeah. And I have secrets to make it, we'll call them secrets, to make it easier for typing so the thinking mind doesn't get involved. But I'm with you. And the words start flowing. But I ask very generic questions. And I guide people through the program so that there's questions on a daily basis you can ask. So we can ask in a lot of detail. But then I just want to get the heck out of the way, Mike. What does the universe want to share with me today? Now, I have a class tonight. Our School of Mystics is tonight. So I sat down this morning and I asked, what am I? This is bold, Mike. What am I teaching tonight? And it's scary because every Wednesday evening I teach, every Wednesday morning I sit down and they give me the curriculum. I have no clue. I'm a blank slate. It's very scary, and it's actually an exhilarating way to go through life because it has nothing to do with what I'm thinking about. And so every day I'm guided. Here's what you get to think about. Here's the most important concern. It's a teaching tool, Mike. Okay, it's a guide, it's a coach, it's all of these things. I call myself a modern mystic. You're a modern mystic at this point too, from all the writing you're doing. I am a modern mystic because of the discourse, or as you called it, the brilliant word, communion between me and spirit that takes place on a daily basis. Each and every day, I'm being taught a higher level teaching than anything I could have asked about. So I simply get out of the way. Now, if I've got wounds, they'll talk to me about it. If I got blocks, they'll talk to me about it. If yesterday Jessica said something and it triggered me, Mike, I'll talk about it. Or we're moving in 2 weeks. We're moving in 2 weeks because we got this place to be near the hospital. We don't know where we're moving yet. It's a wild time. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I will go into automatic writing. I'll say, why don't we have a place yet? Where do I get to look? What do I get to do? How do I stay centered through this process? And it will walk me through that. But the best automatic writing is going to school on a daily basis, which for the intellect, it's like, gimme, 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 good, 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 good. But for the heart and the soul, my vibration goes up and up and up, because each and every time I go in is an attunement at a slightly higher frequency.
Wow. That's so good. That's so good. So I think most people know of automatic writing because of folks like Neil Donald Walsh, who just belted out, volume after volume of mind-bending books, or Seth and Jane Roberts.
We have Neil on in 2 hours and 45 minutes on the show.
Tell him I said hi. All right.
Will do.
So that's one of the many fruits, let's call it, that can come from automatic writing. And what you're talking about is something that I've also dabbled with, to my own amazement, is asking questions and then writing the answer. And then the answers are like, did I make that up? And that sounds really good. And so how do you not? So these are some of the fruits, and then we can communicate with loved ones who are passed over. Then I think you said you could communicate with living people, maybe Absolutely. That you can't have a word with.
And that was done since Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He actually talks about automatic writing and going to a boardroom and having Thomas Edison in his boardroom, who he later met after he'd been doing automatic writing. And he told Thomas Edison, I've been writing to you. And Thomas Edison chuckled to him as if he knew.
Wow. It makes me think of a conversation I had with my mom before she passed. And that's a tangent. I want to get this information from you. So there's these fruits that come from it. And so there's, I guess, an art to asking questions. Are there questions we can't ask, or ways that we shouldn't ask them? Will that be covered in the 21 days?
All of it's covered. It is easier than you think. So we're going to make it super simple for you to understand how to ask questions. The one question you don't want to ask, or the one way that you don't want to ask, at least early on, is the binary question, the yes/no question. And the reason is, when you're asking a yes or no question, it is a very emotionally charged question. I guarantee you. We're going into a bear market. Do I sell or buy Tesla? What, it's like, you're a little bit charged, and your ego knows how to jump in when things are too emotionally charged.
Oh, wow. That's really good. I love that. And then how do you know it's great advice, or that maybe your ego didn't slip through and is telling you what you want to hear? Because, I've always kind of wrestled with that a little bit.
There's a feeling state. Now, I'll talk more about it in the program, but there is a feeling state. It's easy to share here. Ego, Mike, never feels great. It feels icky. It feels heavy. It feels syrupy. And I'm not talking about the good job, Mike. That's not what I'm talking about. Ego is always going to come to you in a voice of, you need to do this. Why didn't you do this? You shoulda, woulda, coulda, or I'm going to should all over you. Ego is not fun.
Right.
Your higher self, your guides. Even, I have a loved one on the other side who's 89 years young when he was my best man, Jack Burden. And he'll still speak to me through automatic writing, and because he crossed over at 93 and a half years young. He retired at 93. He was driving the nursing home bus, driving it. And he said, every man dies within 6 months of retirement. And I said, he said, I have a congenital heart failure. I'm like, do you want me to help you with that? And he goes, damn it, Michael, I'm a Course in Miracles guy. I want to see what's on the other side. And in automatic writing, he says the same thing. Damn it, Michael. But he speaks to me with a loving voice. Your higher self, your spirit, your angels, your guides, they may have some key words for you. They may say, I need you to take action now. COVID came about. We had a fire heading toward the house in Colorado. And they're going, now's the time to move. Very strong, but loving energy. As Neil Donald Walsh says in his new book, it all comes from a place of pure love. And so it's sort of like Marianne Williamson or going into A Course of Miracles. You can weigh this very easily, kind of that scale of justice. Is it light? Is it heavy? Is it love? Is it fear? And it starts to become very easy to tell. Last point on this. Your ego is not just a slippery weasel. It's a slippery weasel with a code of ethics. I had no idea about this. If you ask in your automatic writing, is this my ego? For some bizarre reason, out of the thousands and thousands of people I've taught this to, ego will always say, yeah, like it's proud to tell you when it's pulling a fast one on you. So if I've got a really big decision, let's say we're coming down to the wire. I know thoughts become things, but we're coming down to the wire and it's a decision between place A and place B and I can't decide. And automatic writing has made it clear what it's saying, but I don't know if it's really from automatic writing or not. I will go into automatic writing and I'll say, is this from my ego? Is this from my ego? And I will ask about a dozen different times.
Oh, wow.
Until I'm very clear. But now, I mean, at this point, I can just weigh it, but I will still do that. Because I want to make sure, and I will ask a bunch of different ways. Is this my elders? Is this my guides? But it becomes so abundantly clear.
Wow, that is amazing. That's so good. So you do it every single day at the same time of day?
Multiple times a day. So I am the overachiever with it because of how much it's transformed my life. We've talked about when neurons fire together, they wire together. The more that you practice, the more that you build this fiber optic tunnel between you and spirit. And so I do it as best as I can as an automatic writing sandwich, morning and evening, and it sets my vibration throughout the day and through the nighttime as well. At a very bare minimum, I'll do it in the morning, and then I'll do it before a class or before a live event or before, well, us meeting right here. Because I don't want to take anything, Mike, from my thinking mind. My thinking mind is beautiful for getting me across the street. It's beautiful for building a program. It is not beautiful for the intuitive hits. That's supra mind. That's above the thinking mind. And so I want a focused practice to help me go beyond the thinking mind every chance I can.
Do you teach complementary tools, techniques? You mentioned earlier muscle testing. You said that you were doing some muscle testing to find out whether or not with Baby Hana's presence, could you skip it for a day? And the muscle testing said no. Do you teach muscle testing? And part of this program, do you do pendulum work or anything else complementary?
I do a bit of muscle testing, just a very bit when we go into clearing work. So I wouldn't get the program for muscle testing. What I would get it for, though, is we all have wounds and blocks inside of us. Yeah. Present day wounds and blocks where we find ourselves on autopilot in a fight with a spouse or freaking out for no reason, a response that is not proportional to something taking place. Mm-hmm. I show you how you can work with your angels and guides to clear that. More importantly, we are all operating on an autopilot that goes beyond this lifetime. We all came in here with wounds and blocks. We often call it karma. Karma is just about learnings and teachings. It's not about you did a bad thing and now you're going to pay for it. Right. But we come here and you can see it in everyone. I know it's in you. It's definitely in me. From almost day number 1 in school, we start repeating these patterns over and over and over again. And we're like, why? And so we can go into automatic writing and we can say, why? Where did this come from? Even what lifetime did this come from? Can you, like a past life regression, show me this lifetime?
Oh, wow.
And then can you help me to learn the lesson and free me from it? The patterns repeat. So one of my favorite statements, it's really twisted. It shows my old humor that used to be in me. The beatings will continue, Mike, until morale improves.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you can ask about, and I guess while you're writing, do you receive pictures, or do you just get
Yeah.
words and you can remember or understand a pattern and its cause?
It will, in the beginning, the writing is the writing. So that's when it's sort of like in the beginning when you go dating someone. It's kind of superficial. It's I don't want to offend the other person. I want them to see me at my best. And you're not really going deep yet. Then you start to get to know them. You start to go deeper and deeper. And then you really get to know them. You start to share hopes and dreams. And then you even have collaborative hopes and dreams if everything's going really well. In automatic writing, the same process takes place. In the beginning, it's very superficial. It's little things. You're loved. You're a great person. Breathe deep. Then it starts to go a little deeper. Then it goes deeper still. And then it's starting to share some deepest wisdom. Then it's kind of, we'll call it in today's day or age, the pandemic of automatic writing. It starts to spread everywhere. And not only are words coming out, but you start to get flashes of images. You start to hear things, not this booming voice.
Now, when can we expect that in this program? Like when the average person, let's say they're not a writer, they're not psychic, they don't remember their dreams at night.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on that. First off,
fruits.
Everyone is a psychic. Everyone came from spirit. Everyone.
I'm thinking people are going to be coming with that attitude.
I'm with you. First off,
what can they hope for? Like, what's realistic? Like, how long are they going to say, this is powerful and I can feel its influence in my life?
Within the first few weeks, quite likely sooner, they will feel very different. Because each time you dip your toes in, it's raising your vibration, even if the words aren't starting to really flow yet. They start flowing within the first to second week for everybody. Within the first month, you start to get profound words of wisdom. Within 2 months of entrainment, you're radically different. You're radically different. Now, you addressed several points of resistance. Let's go after that. I'm not a writer. Great. Your frontal lobe is literally knocked offline, as we were talking about earlier. Your frontal lobe isn't involved. That's the part of the brain responsible for writing. It's gone. The writing ain't coming from you. So if you're not a writer, great. If you are a writer, we got to work to shut your mind down even more. Very doable, but it's even easier if you're not a writer. I'm not psychic. Great. You don't have any preconceived notions that can get in the way. Mm-hmm. This is writing supra, above mind, or without mind. The people who have the biggest challenge are those who are going, I need to know everything. I need to know every detail. I need to know how it works. Give me. Even for them or for us, and having a degree in science myself, among others, Mike, I get this. You get to a place of surrender. It feels so good. The mind goes, I finally give. And the words come flowing through.
Wow. Well, my experience has shown me the same. Like, instead of just writing content for earlier books, when I started asking questions, I'd be like, dang, that is profound. And I would lean on it in the days that would follow. And it'd be like, yeah, and it would have given me the light that I needed for a decision. Have you ever got an answer that you didn't like? Or have you ever not followed the advice that you were given for whatever rationale, and either it went okay anyway or you regretted it? So
Okay, there's two parts, and I want to back up for a brief second. You end up being Neil. I love you. You end up being your own version of a Neil Donald Walsh. You end up having that level of conversation with spirit. With that said, I learned fairly early on never to disagree with my automatic writing. Does it give me answers that I don't like? Yeah, quite frequently.
Really?
It's my guides on the other side challenging me. Right now they're doing, and my audience knows we're going through some big changes with the show, and it is challenging me. Now, I go along more slowly than they would like. I don't want to move at their angel speed, so to speak. But when they say jump, over time, I'm going to have to resign and go, how high? I'll never try to move too fast because that scares my egoic mind too much. And Mike, I don't know about you, but I live for stability, even though I live they were giving me a teaching recently about living recklessly. And that means living to your fullest and allowing yourself to experiment and explore and be an adventurer. That's living recklessly. They mean that in a reckless abandon, in a beautiful way. Before you're in the pine box, let's live. With that said, I tend to come along more reluctantly. I was never planning, as I mentioned before, I was never planning on teaching automatic writing, on teaching channeling. I've had people become channels and mediums from learning automatic writing. I never planned on doing that, but they will keep on me until I listen. Do I like what they have to say? Quite often, Mike, no. One of the biggest challenges people have in automatic writing is it's going to point out your greatness. It's going to point out how amazing you are. And it's going to challenge you to step forward into your greatness. And in this world, we've been taught to play it small, to play it safe. And automatic writing will not allow that. It'll say, you came here for greatness. Let me show you what you're capable of. I'll even lay out the steps for you. Are you willing to go on the journey? And our egoic mind goes, eek. And every day you go into it, it'll go, knock, knock. Are you ready to play a bigger game? But it won't, we'll use the biblical term, it won't forsake you. It will walk you through the journey. It's not going to put you out on the limb and go, all right, you're on your own.
You know, you kind of maybe already implied the answer to the question I'm going to ask now, but has this communion for you gotten to a point where you can forego the writing and you can pause and reflect and go within and feel the answer right away? I mean, I would imagine that's where we're going.
Yes, and yes, I can go within. Yes, I can actually hear the answer. It goes beyond a feeling state. It's not a booming voice, but it's not like coming through the ears, but you hear the words behind it. And I will get that. However, the deepest conversation, and maybe that's more of chewing gum for the mind, comes if I will then go to my practice and sit down and have a conversation. So let's say something big is coming up and I know what I need to do, but I'm feeling jittery about it. I will sit down in automatic writing. I'll grab my handy dandy headphones and I'll go, and I can do it any time of the day. I'll go, ticka, 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 ticka. What can you tell me about this? And the words will spill out onto the page and I'll be at least at peace afterwards.
Oh, that's really super. What do you think would be the most palpable sensation attendees of the course would have by the end of 21 days? I mean, are they going to...
Your vibration goes up. Angels, spirit, guides, loved ones, they're all on the other side of the veil. They're vibrating at a higher level. Your higher self is too, but down here, we're kind of in this fear-based molasses. the more that you start conversing on the other side of the veil. Isn't it great? We've got a kitty singing. We've had this car outside that is just doing its alarm dance. And yet your
I didn't hear that.
vibration, it starts to go up and up and up. So I've had people who are clinically depressed and are seeking help for anxiety and fears and worries and concerns. And I'm not a therapist. I don't play one on TV, but they start to feel so much better. Why? Because as you reach up your arm and the angels reach down and start to pull you up, you find your vibration each day going higher and higher and higher and higher still. And then you look back. So, Mike, you look back after a couple weeks and you go, well, the words aren't that profound yet. Well, how do you feel? I feel amazing. All right, keep it up. You look back after a month and you go, wow, I can't believe the changes. You understand it's a hockey puck curve or hockey stick curve. You look back after 2 months and you go, who was that person? It's that profound of a change by bathing in the energy on the other side of the veil each and every day.
Wow. Do you feel that you, in the beginning, rely more on the voices that you call upon, angels, guides, to a point where you're relying more on your own inner self? Or is everything just a function of you and that's a distinction that's not important?
The distinction as to who you're speaking to, that's not so important. Meaning, is it an archangel? Is it your guardian angel? Is it your master guide? Is it, I don't know, Ellen, whoever? That's not so important.
Yeah.
The messages are more important. However, and let's draw a distinction here, a distinction between automatic writing and journaling. Journaling is a first-person process. It's an I, me, my. That's a process coming from your thinking mind. Automatic writing is you, dear one. It's okay. You'll be fine. Breathe deep. Don't worry. Let's talk to you about this. That's coming from outside of yourself. That's the voice that you're going to listen to. The I, me, my voice. And we have a way of handling that. And I teach that in the program. If the I, me, my voice comes out, we find a way to both put it to the side, and it's there for a reason, and help you to heal whatever wounds are being brought up by that voice from your higher level guides.
Woo! I can't wait until June 21. Let's tell everybody about the course. It begins June 21. You can actually sign up as late as June 24. So it's not difficult to catch up, because basically there's going to be, tell us, every day for 21 days, you've got a video up your sleeve. You're going to do a video drop every morning. Everybody's going to go to their computer before sunrise or whatever is your schedule. And then what? They're going to see
and I'll throw in, or late at night. There are two best times to do it: early in the morning or late at night. So I don't want people going, well, I'm a late night person. You're not getting me up early. That's okay. We just want to do it when the world sleeps. Keep going, Mike.
Okay. So there's going to be a kickoff workshop. And then the next day, it'll be lesson 1 of 21 of the 21 days. So there's 4 workshops where you're going to be teaching. I will be kind of moderating, chiming in occasionally here and there. They're going to be probably 60 minutes long, and then you're going to do Q&A with the live audience, and there'll be an opportunity on the Facebook community group that's private for adventurers. There's already thousands, Michael, who have signed up, thousands who have signed up. So there'll be a Facebook page where people can pre-submit a question if they can't attend live. So the first workshop is an hour intro, an hour let's get ready to rumble, and then 30 minutes of Q&A. Then the 21 days in a row of lessons. So each lesson, how long is the video, and what's the homework assignment, and what might people want to know now to see if this is going to work for them?
So each day there'll be a video from about 4 to 8 minutes in length. It's going to guide you through a process. It might be how to communicate with long lost loved ones, how to manifest beyond your wildest dreams, for my highest good, the highest good of all, or something even better. It may be how to help heal the wounds of your ego. It may be how to clear karma from past lifetimes. Really, really, really cool stuff in here. Plus, basics. Are you having a problem at work or a problem with a relationship, a problem with another person? How you can heal that through automatic writing. Are you having nightmares? Do you want to know what they mean? Do you want to do dream interpretation? We're going to teach you that through automatic writing. So each and every day, I've had over 2,000 shows, Mike. I've read nearly 2,000 books for my show. Each and every time I do an interview, I read a book. The only tool I go back to each and every time is automatic writing, because it's the library of everything. What do I want to learn how to do? I'm going to get that. You want to go and communicate with Einstein or communicate with the Buddha. You can go to them through automatic writing. So each day I break down, here's a new cool tool. I can't even say that. A new cool tool for you to try. And I make it super easy. And yes, my energy right now is a little bit over the top. That's kind of the energy of spirit coming through me. Your energy will be going up each day, and you will be on fire to try these things.
All right. And then we've got a workbook. Every participant gets a full-blown workbook with ruled lines where necessary to take notes from the workshops, as well as pre-printed instructions that complement the daily lessons. You can complete this workbook online on your computer desktop and save it to your computer, or you can print it out and put it in a 3-ring binder. And then there's community, the Facebook page, where you can check in every single day. Participants will, and you and I will, and get the pulse and find out what's hidden, what needs some accentuation. I think you have thought of everything, Michael. Between the 21 videos, the workshops, there's a total of 4 workshops interspersed by 1 week. So there's a kickoff workshop, then 7 days of videos. Daily videos. And then there's a check-in workshop with content, Q&A, and 7 more days.
Here's a couple of things that I really like about this, Mike. First off, we have a lesson. Each lesson compounds, builds on the last, but you have a week to play in between and practice and see what's working and see what's not. And I actually guide you through. So particularly the early videos are saying, have you tried this? How is this working? Give this a shot, so that there's a lot of problem solving going through it. So we get you out of that thinking mind state, because initially that's the hardest part, is I need to get you out of your mind, which is the greatest place to be. And so I walk you through that, and it all compounds. One builds on the next, builds on the next. And as that neural network grows, we start to go into more sophisticated topics and more sophisticated topics. And I was thinking about recently, I've got a bike off to my side here, and I have to do indoor bike riding at the moment as a former pro cyclist, but I got hit by a car here in the fall. And so until we move to someplace more rural, I'm not riding outside. I went to hire a coach earlier this year, and he knew I had a baby coming up, and he said, let me give you a written program with no interaction, and because we don't know what's coming up. I fell off the program really quickly, because I didn't have that daily touch with this program, with the videos. It's not, I give you something and you're gone, see you later. That doesn't work I don't know about you. It does not work for me. I need the touch. I need the community. I need the feedback. I need the accountability, all of it. You get that with this program, so you're not going it along. And then you can even bring your questions to us and say, hey, Michael, I'm trying XYZ. I'm struggling with this. And I'm going to go, great. So many other people have this exact question as well. Let's answer it for you. Let's help get you going. And you've just helped countless others as well.
It's going to be so hot. I would suggest to all watching right now, you cannot miss this. It's at a price you choose. Money back guarantee.
I've never taught automatic writing. I want everybody to do it. I want it to be incredibly affordable. although I really want you to do the work. Sign up and then do the work. It would, okay. It's my belief, Mike, that if we all had a process like automatic writing, the world would shift. A year and a half ago, close to 2 years ago, I was invited down to the Nobel Peace Prize Summit in the Yucatan in Mexico. And what became very clear to me for the work I was doing, it became very clear to me, if we want to change the outer world, change your inner circumstance by living a spirit-driven life. So we go, oh, let's change on the inner. Well, what does that mean? If you find a simple way, it can be as little as 5-10 minutes a day of talking to spirit, whether we call it angels, whether we call it guides, loved one, elders, Akashic masters, it doesn't matter. You will change the decisions you make. You will change your energy, and you will infect and affect everyone around you. So I am on a mission, Mike, to get automatic writing to everyone and make sure they use it. We had this discussion off air a few weeks ago. I said, I want to make sure everybody uses this, because it's so powerful. It will change your life, and then it starts to change everybody's life around you.
To clarify, you started a sentence 3 or 4 minutes ago. You said, I have never taught automatic writing. I think you were about to say in this way or for this reason, but clearly as the author you are. For this price. Right.
I've never taught it where it's pay as you go of whatever you can afford.
Yeah, we're letting everybody pick their own price. We've done that since COVID. We have just received too many emails of gratitude with folks crying that they were able to do something like this, given the weird times of the world we're in. And especially generous of you, Michael, given how much you typically are able to bill your services for privately as a coach and group.
Here's how I look at it.
This is extraordinary and deeply appreciated by me and all of those thousands who have already signed up.
Here's how I look at it, Mike, and thank you, is typically the more that you pay, the more you're invested in it. But in this case, and as I was just reading this morning, we're in a bear market. It's hard for people.
Yeah.
And so it's an energetic token to get you going. You give an energetic token to us, we're going to give you the world in automatic writing. Spirit is going to give you the world in automatic writing.
Michael, I think we have covered every base. I cannot wait. I'm counting the days. I've got my journal and my computer and my OneNote workbook all set up to take my game to a higher level and learn from the best. Any final thoughts or words?
Here's where I'm hearing from Spirit. I'm hearing anyone can do this. Look at you. You were a schlub. And you were able to do this, Michael. So anyone, you don't need to be a writer. You don't need to have any psychic abilities. You don't need to be able to muscle test. You don't need to be able to anything. The words of wisdom are always there. It's just that we've lost our way. We've lost our means to tap back into it or to discern, to tell, is that me or is this spirit? So we can call this a discernment tool and a tool to turn up the volume on the universe. Then we start into this adventure, and life changes, becomes more fun, becomes greater, becomes watch out, because what you're capable of is so far beyond what you ever imagined.
That is the truth. And I'm so excited for that reason. Thank you, Michael Sandler. Thank you so much. I'm counting the days. Everybody, we kick off on June 21, but you can join us as late as June 24th. It'll just be a couple of days of videos, 4 to 8 minutes. You can do that. So thank you all for your time, your patience, your excitement that you're sharing already in the discussions. We look forward to kicking off with you really, really soon.
I hope you had as much fun with Mike Dooley on automatic writing as I did, and I can't wait to see you soon. Simply click the link below to join the automatic writing adventure, and here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you guys so, so much. Keep on shining bright. How does it get any better than this? See you in automatic writing.